Power BI DAX Tutorial Part 3. Hi, I'm M. Asif Hussain from KnowHow Academy. What are we going to learn in this video? In this Part 3 of DAX tutorial, we are going to see some of the logical DAX functions such as if error, switch, and, or, true, false. So in our recent parts of DAX tutorial part 1 and part 2, we have seen date and time functions, we have seen aggregate functions, we have seen the expression functions, we have seen some distinct functions. So by the end of this video, you could learn and practice and get a very excellent idea on how we have to use the logical functions for different case scenarios. So let's start working on it. So my dear viewers, here I have a table called data. So in this table, we have the region column, country column, customer column, business segment column, category column, model column, color column, sales date column, list price column, unit price column, order quantity column. Now from these three, we had found out the sales, cost, profit columns, and from the sales date column that we have here, so from this sales date column, we found out what is the year, month, day, quarter. Okay, so now let me give you a simple scenario. So if we carefully observe the sales column, so in this sales column, we have the sales starting from 2.29. So if I just sort this in a descending order, we could get the knowledge on what exactly is our maximum value that we have it in our sales column. So what I'm doing, I'm sorting it in a descending order. So 6198.5.82 is the maximum value that we have. So now if you see that in the ascending order, we have 2.29, and in the descending order, we have 61985 some number. Alright, so let me give you a scenario. Let us consider whichever and wherever the sales are below 100. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, wherever the sales are below 100, then we should get it as bad business, and wherever our sales is greater than 3000, we should get it as good business, and in between this greater than 100 and less than 5000, we need to get it as average business. So this is a question. So how should we solve this? To solve this type of question, we use the logical data analysis expression function, which is if function. Okay, we all might be aware of the if function, where we might have used it, learned many problems in our schooling and in our college days. So let's apply the same logic here. So for this, what I'm doing, my dear viewers, I am choosing a new column here. So in this new column, let me write the column name as scenario 1. Okay, let us consider one scenario. Here I am choosing the first function, which is if. So in this if function, it is asking me to enter the logical test, then with the result if it is true, then the result if it is false. Okay, so what this logical test is? So as I have told that the sales, if it is less than 100, if it is less than 100, then I need to get the message as bad business. Then I need to get the message as bad business, comma. So now again I'm writing another if condition here. What is this if condition? So again another logical test I'm choosing it. If my sales is greater than 5000, then the message that I have to get is good business. Now what I'm doing it, comma, else the message should be the average business. So for this, again double quotation, then I will go with the average business, double quotation close. So this parenthesis is for the second if condition, another parenthesis is for the first if condition. Now I'll click on enter. As soon as I have clicked on enter, you could see that everywhere bad business, bad business, bad business. Why? Because the value that we have given less than 100, the message is bad business. All right. So if I show it to you, we have three: average business, good business, and bad business. So when do we get this good business? If our value, the sales, is greater than 5,000. So just verify whether if it is really greater than 5,000 or not. I'm just selecting the good business. Everywhere we have the sales which is greater than 5,000. So here we have used the if condition, and here if you carefully observe, not only one if condition we have used two if conditions here. So if there is another scenario, not a scenario, if there is from another condition, then you could use another if condition. So my dear viewers, what we are doing it, we are increasing the functions. Am I right? So again in one if condition, another if condition. Again in that if condition, we have another if condition. Okay, so that we have to clearly understand. Okay, so you might have a question. Sir, is this allowed to use multiple if conditions in one particular statement? Is it allowed to use multiple if conditions under one DAX functions? Yes, it is allowed, but there is some problem. So for example, I have considered two situations here. One, if my sales is less than 100, and one, if my sales is greater than 5,000. As I have only two conditions, I could clearly understand the logic. So what if the case you have these sales, or if you have these scenario, or if you have the conditions which are more than 5, which are more than 7, which are more than 10, then it is very hectic. It is very difficult to understand the logic or even write the logic. So to avoid multiple if conditions, we use the another DAX function which comes under the logical data analysis expression function, which is switch function. So what this switch will do? Switch will, once if you use a switch, it is not required to use multiple if conditions here. So when we are learning this switch condition, we are going to also cover the DAX functions such as a true and DAX functions. Okay, so those two also we are going to cover in this switch DAX function. So let me show it to the same thing. I'm choosing a new column here. So let me consider the name such as okay, scenario 2. If I would like to consider, I am using the DAX function called switch. So my dear viewers, if you understand the syntax of the switch, what exactly it is asking? It is asking you to give the expression, then it is asking you to give the value and result of it. All right. So what it is doing, it returns the different results depending upon the values of an expression. So first it is asking us to choose an expression. So here the expression that I would like to use is true. Okay, what exactly is this true? True is also one of the logical DAX functions that we have in our Power BI. So true function, it will return the logical value if it is true. It will if we keep false in the place of true, it will return the logical value if it is false. All right. So what we have done, we have written the expression that true, whatever the logical that we are giving it, that is, if it is true, we'll get the result from it. So now we have written true, comma. Now it is asking us to write the value. So here, let me give you the scenario. The scenario is that, so please listen to this scenario very carefully, because there are two scenarios coming into one function. If my sales is greater than 0 and if it is less than 5,000. So the first scenario that we have, so if I would like to show it to you, the scenario which I am telling is, if my sales, if it is greater than 0 comma, in again if my sales is less than 5,000, okay, I have to get a message such as bronze. Let us consider, if my sales is greater than 0 and less than 5,000, then it is bronze. Again, if I take another condition, if my sales is greater than 5,000, if my sales is greater than 5,000, and if my sales is less than 10,000, if my sales is greater than 5,000 and if it is less than 10,000, then we have to get a message as silver. And again, if my sales is greater than 10,000 and if my sales is less than 20,000, then I have to get a message such as gold, Now, if it is not coming, if any value is not coming in all these numbers, in between all these numbers, so the else message should be platinum. Then my else message should be platinum. So for this kind of situation, when there are two functions coming into one message, then we have to have another DAX function coming into the point, which is AND DAX function, okay, where it is clubbing two logical functions. So two logical tests. So logical test 1, logical test 2, then it is clubbing into two AND. So now what I am doing it here, I am choosing the function called AND. As you can see, AND function, it is giving us logical 1 and logical 2 whether all the arguments are true, and it will return true if all the arguments are true. All right. So let me give you the first logic. What is that? If my sales is greater than 0 and less than 5,000. So let me give that. Sales, if my sales is greater than 0 and if my sales is, let me take the sales column, if my sales is less than 5,000, then the message should be bronze. All right, then the message should be bronze. So let me close the bracket for this AND condition. Now for the first AND condition, the message is bronze. All right, so now we have the another one, that is the sales, which if it is greater than 5,000 and less than 10,000. So what I am doing here, I am going here and choosing another AND condition. So if in another condition, if my sales, if it is greater than 5,000, comma, and if my sales is less than 10,000, then what should be the message? Here let me close the parenthesis, comma, what should be the message? The message should be silver. Okay, so here I am choosing silver, comma. Now we have completed two conditions. What is the third condition? If my sales is greater than 10,000 and less than 20,000. So again I am choosing another AND condition here, AND function. So first logic is if my sales, if it is greater than 10,000, comma, again if my sales, if it is less than 20,000, then what should be the message? The message should be gold. And for rest of all the things which is not coming in between these three conditions, the message should be platinum. So this is the switch condition. So my dear viewers, if you carefully observe, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there are n number of if conditions you might use it, but to avoid multiple if conditions, we can just write the switch statement, and without using if, we can write n number of conditions inside it, and that's what I have showed it to you here. So now let me click on enter and we will get the column, and now let us verify the results. Okay, so we have silver, we have gold, and we have platinum. Okay, so here if you see it, so we have silver here. Let's cross verify. So for what are we getting silver? If the sales is greater than 5,000 and less than 10,000. So it is 5019, it is greater than 5,000. That's where we have got it silver here. All right. So this is how you have to use the switch logical DAX function in Power BI. So we have learned if condition, if DAX function, and we have also learned the switch DAX function. So now let me go and explain and give you an example on how to use the if error DAX function. So what this if error DAX function is doing it in Power BI, and what is the usage of it, let me explain it to you. So what this if error DAX function will do, if any value is having an error, okay, if any particular value has some error, then it gives us some message. Okay, so for instance, let me do one thing. So I do not have any error in my particular data set. So just what I'm doing, I'm choosing a new column. Okay, and here let me write the column name as if error. Okay, and let me just create a small error. Okay, let me create a small error, or else let me take the column name as error, some column name. Then let me just do one thing, data of sales, and let me divide this with 0. Okay, so what I am doing, I'm just creating some error. So what this error is getting, as you can see, that everywhere we have infinity. All right, everywhere we have infinity. So infinity is nothing but it's generally we have created one error here. Okay, so now whenever and wherever we have the error, it gives us some message. So let's go and do that. So for this, what I'm doing now, I'm just choosing a new column. So in this new column, what I am doing it, I am just choosing, or I'm writing the column name as if error equal to, so that I can easily identify. I'm choosing the DAX function as if error here. Okay, returns value if error, if the first expression is an error. Okay, so what is the value here? So value, let me consider the error one. Okay, data of error. All right, comma. So what the value I would like to give if there is an error, let us consider some value. Let me consider as 0, or you can consider as 1. So wherever we have the errors, we have to get the answer as, or in the output I would like to see as 1. So you can write any number, it's up to you. So as you can see that wherever I have the errors, I am getting 1 here. Okay, so it purely depends upon your message and what number you, or what value you would like to give it in the value if error. So generally what if error will do, if error, it will give us the particular value. If it is having some error, with that it will identify and give us some message there. So that's how we have to use the if error function. So now even let me go and show you the another DAX function that we have, which is and DAX function. So what I'm doing, I'm choosing a new column here. So in this new column, so let me write the column name such as and, so that it will be very easy for you to identify. So and I'm writing and here I have to give two logics, logical 1 and logical 2 conditions, so that it can combine. And so my dear viewers, there are two things here. If you would like to write A and D, then you can use only two logical tests. Okay, but if you use the ampersand, so for example we have this and symbol, if you use like this, so more than two logical tests you can write it using this and symbol rather than writing A and D. So let me just show you using A and D. So what I'm doing it here, and let me see that okay, so let me show you that the a small condition I'm taking it, if my components are yellow. Okay, components and low. So what I'm doing here, the business segment column I'm choosing it. If my business segment column equal to, if it is components, okay, if it is components, comma, the another logical, if it is yellow. Okay, yellow. So color, what I'm choosing, so the color column we have it, color equal to yellow. If I click on enter, you can see that wherever our components are yellow, there I am getting true, and the other places I am getting false. Wherever this condition is getting satisfied, where my components are yellow, both should match. Okay, then I am getting true, and in the rest of the places I am getting false. So this is how AND condition can be used. Now in the same way, you could even go and use the OR function. So what OR function I'm doing it? So if you would, I'm just choosing a new column again. So to show you the OR function. So here I am writing OR as a DAX function. So in this one, you can again take the same thing. So let me go and take my business segment. Okay, my business segment equal to components, comma, again my another column as color equal to yellow, color equal to yellow. So if I write like this, you can see that, okay, again I'm getting the result in true. Okay, so why it is true? Because any one, I know we are getting false even. Okay, we have, if I see the false, so where are we getting false? So see this, we don't have, no, in the business segment now we don't have this thing called as components. Okay, so wherever or any one condition should satisfy. So what is happening when I'm choosing false? Either components or yellow. So whether if it is, no, if it is correct, then it is coming true, and if it is not correct, I am getting false. So that's where you can use the OR function. So what I'm having here, so whichever my OR condition, any one, okay, so if it is matching, then I'm getting true, and for rest of the things I'm getting false here. So my dear viewers, in this video we have learned the different logical data analysis expression functions such as if, switch, if error, and, or, true, false DAX functions in Power BI. Thank you for choosing KnowHow Academy as your source for IT knowledge. We are always here to help you to navigate the tech world. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Stay curious and keep learning.